I, 40F, have been a long-time lurker on Reddit. Never shared my story. This is a typical Reddit story you will hear. But I wanted to scream it to the world. Thank God for Reddit. So, my sister, 43F. Ursula, yes I am using a villain's name, has always made my life a living hell. She is extremely manipulative and a narcissist. Ursula will be nice to me when she needed anything but then will ignore me. Growing up I always thought that we were really good sisters. We did not have the typical sister fights of one being jealous of the other. Now as an adult when I think about it, I think she has hated me. She would always give me backhanded compliments like, "Your face looks better with your glasses." Or, "You have a boy crush. I thought you were a lesbian." I used to be a tomboy. Growing up I always strived to be like her. She was everyone's favorite. She was helpful and kind. Or at least that's how she made us believe. She would always make me feel insecure about my looks and people I date. The first boyfriend I had when I was 17. She made me believe that he was not good for me blah blah. I broke up with him. I know my fault. I moved out of state for college. My sister went to business school while I studied engineering. I would come home from holidays and would still have to hear all her backhanded compliments. When I was 21, I started dating my ex-husband Jordan. My sister wasting someone else at that time, so I guess her focus didn't fall on Jordan. Also Jordan was not her type. We dated for 3 years and tied the knot. For 4 years I have been happy with my life. During that time my sister announces she is pregnant. We all thought she got pregnant by her then boyfriend Remy. One day, I went to visit her and bring some food for pregnancy. She gave me a key to her place and I went inside without knocking. I had permission from her. The surprising thing I saw was Jordan's shoes outside. I went inside her bedroom because I was feeling a bit suspicious. And yeah, you guessed it. They were fucking butt naked. Long story short, I divorced Jordan. I was still in pain and very devastated. My parents supported me but their focus shifted way more towards my sister and Jordan. Yes, she was pregnant with his child. It was painful to see them together. I never got a sorry from either of them, they were like shit happens. I moved away from home. 8 years ago I got a contract to work in England. I moved there. It was a fresh start of my life. I met Peter who was a single dad. We fell in love and got married and have a son together. I don't have contact with my sister. I have very low contact with my dad who gives me all the insight. Jordan and Ursula got married and had 2 more kids. That's all I knew about them until recently. Jordan cheated on Ursula. And they are having a nasty fight. The cherry on top is that 2 of their kids is not Jordan's. So Ursula hasn't been faithful at all. My dad told me it is a mess. Jordan and Ursula will get a divorce but she is pressing for alimony. I hung up the phone and made myself a drink. I am glad I am thousands of miles away from all that drama. My mom had called me too and said that she needs me. I am not sure if I will go or not. As much as I enjoy seeing Ursula's life going to hell, I am not sure if I want to engage in that drama. Edit. Since people are curious and want to know everything, I wanted to add more details. My sister was cheating on Remy. Remy was a really sweet guy. He was very devastated when she heard my sister is not pregnant with his child, rather it was Jordan's. Remy moved on and had a wonderful wife afterwards. I still follow him on Instagram. My parents were mad at Ursula. But she as manipulative bitch convinced everyone that Jordan coerced her and that he would divorce me if she didn't have sex with him. She made it seem like she is saving my marriage by fucking my husband lol. Classic. I got married in London. My relatives couldn't come because of the long distance but my father did. Mom couldn't come because at that time she had a back surgery. Edit 2. Editing again because people have this misconception that my parents were bad. No, they were not bad. They were normal human. I also understand they were in a tough spot. I mean you can't just expect a parent to choose between 2 kids. Besides, they were going to be grandparents and cannot leave my sister alone. Yes, she is a bitch. But they never let her get scot-free. My parents supported me in my divorce and paid for my post-divorce therapy. They cannot cut off Ursula entirely because she was pregnant. My dad and mom have a strained relationship with her and Jordan. They haven't disowned them because of their kids. My dad refused to walk Ursula down the aisle at her wedding, which I did not attend. I did keep them in contact after I moved to England. They were supportive of me. The reason my mom couldn't come to my wedding, as I mentioned, she had a back surgery. My mom is in her 60s. So she has a lot of health issues. My dad attended. My mom hardly could fly, but she did visit me after my honeymoon. She was devastated because she couldn't meet my son because flying was difficult, and then we had COVID. I am going to my hometown for some business. I would have gone either way regardless of the phone call. I haven't seen my mom and dad for 4 years now. I miss them. I do hate my sister, but I do not hate my parents. Now for the update. So I have landed on the soil of my home country with my husband and son. My mom and dad received me from the airport. I was so happy to meet them after so many years. Their faces look pale as if they haven't eaten or slept for a long time. My mom was happy to meet my husband and kid, especially my kid because she hasn't met him. I asked them not to tell my sister that I am here. I am only here for a few weeks and then I will be gone. I am currently staying with my aunt. Now on to some insights about my sister. My mom said she is living with her along with her kids. I got some details on my sister. She was having an affair with her former boss who is married, and those 2 kids are actually his. My sister got a beating from the boss's wife. From what I am hearing, the company her boss works in actually belongs to boss's father-in-laws. So yeah, her boss is going to be jobless. And my sister has switched jobs way before this happened, but the affair continued. But because of all this drama, she is literally on the edge to lose her new job too, because the company's owner is good friends with boss's wife. So you can imagine the kind of quicksand she put her foot to. Jordan has quit his job too. Because he is adamant on not paying my sister alimony and not wanting to pay child support for the kids that belong to the boss. He will be suing the boss for child support as well. They constantly fight a lot. Jordan is probably going mad because of it, according to my mom. And he was also having an affair with his coworker. My mom wants to kick my sister out, but because of her kids she cannot. She hates her, but she doesn't want to punish her kids because they are innocent. Honestly, I feel bad for those kids too. They do not deserve such mess of parents. Also, just so you know, my parents aren't bad. They have supported me a lot. The only reason they still talk to my sister Ursula because of her kids. I feel bad for mom because she only has few days, and along with her illness she probably will be too sick to deal with this. I know my sister will somehow know I am here, but I am prepared for that as well. I do not want to see her because I know I will be dragged into her drama. But I will enjoy few weeks I have with my husband and kid. Story 2. Update. My husband wants to leave me for celebrating my late aunt's birthday every year. Hi everyone. I apologize if this post is all over the place, as I am filled with a lot of emotions and anger. For some context, I, 24F, didn't have the best relationship with my parents. My mother and father divorced when I was extremely young. Needless to say, they weren't very good co-parents. My mom was an alcoholic and my father did drugs. My aunt, who wasn't my aunt by blood, but was my grandma's best friend, took care of me most of the time when I would have to stay with my father. She would constantly make me feel loved and taken care of. She would always have fun activities planned for us to do together, such as making bead bracelets and bead art, making other jewelry and painting. I loved being with her because there was never a dull moment. When I was in 5th grade, my mom got clean and got full custody over me. We ended up moving towns and I never really saw my father again. It got extremely difficult to see my aunt, but as I got older and could drive, I started seeing her more again. Fast forward to 2021, my aunt passed away due to lung issues. I had not seen her in years because I was working and was dating my husband, 25M, in 2020. I felt extremely guilty that I hadn't seen her in so long. Once I was told about the disease, I immediately went to see her in hospice. I went and saw her twice, and the last day I saw her, she passed away holding my hand. I was extremely broken. My aunt's birthday is on September 15th. Ever since she passed away, I've always made her favorite flavored cake, sang happy birthday and blown out candles for her. This is my way of showing appreciation and love for my aunt. But, my husband's sister's, 12F birthday is also on the same day. I love his sister and always spend the majority of the day with her. At the end of the night, I do go home to bake the cake for my aunt. This makes my husband furious. Anytime I ask him if he would like to join me, he always angrily declines and says his sister is more important. I totally understand and leave by myself. He sent me a text saying, "I'm not coming home tonight." And I respond, "I love you, be safe." I wake up this morning to see all of his stuff from the apartment gone, along with a text saying, "You are extremely selfish and leaving a 12-year-old on her birthday for a dead person isn't okay. I will be contacting a divorce lawyer." I immediately started crying as my husband knew how much my aunt's death impacted me. He also knew I would celebrate before even marrying me. I am more angry than sad right now that I let this man destroy my life over me wanting to bake a cake for my aunt. The relationship never had any huge issues, and yes, he would get annoyed every year, but it was never to this extent. Needless to say, it's only been a few hours, but I am okay with him wanting to divorce me, as I don't need to be with someone who can't accept me making a damn cake because I will not stop. Now for the update. Hey everyone. First off, I want to thank everyone for their support and kind regards to me. I am going through an extremely emotional time right now. For some context to the first story, some people were saying I was prioritizing the dead over the living. This is not true. I work extremely early in the morning for work, so I'm usually in bed by 8:30 p.m. Depending on the day of the week my SIL birthday lands on, I go straight to her after work, or if I'm not working then early in the morning. Even on days we are just visiting my husband's family, we usually leave around 8 p.m. so I can get home and get ready for work. His family lives not even 5 minutes away from us. Whenever I make the cake for my aunt on her birthday, I still leave at 8 p.m. and just go to bed a little later. I do not prioritize my aunt over my SIL. I also have gone to grief counseling as it's always been hard for him to process a loss. My counselor was the one who made the recommendation to do nice contribution to her every now and then. So for everyone saying the way I'm coping is unhealthy and a ritual, thanks, but I'd rather listen to the professional. Now on to the update. After I posted the original post, I contacted a family friend who is a divorce attorney. After a few hours after the text from Raiden, husband's name, I decided to text him back. I understand. I have hired a divorce attorney. This clearly made him shit his pants as not even 5 minutes later he came back home. He started saying he was just drunk and didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't say a word. He kept saying he was sorry and he didn't mean it. I told him to go back to his parents' house. He kept begging as he left. He then started blowing up my phone with the same apology. After about 20 minutes, I received a call from his mother. His mom loves what I do for my aunt and has asked to join me a few years ago. She called me saying she just had a conversation with her son and wants to know why I'm leaving him because he didn't join me in making the cake. I just started laughing and sent her the screenshots of his text last night. He tried to lie and say I was the one wanting a divorce. His mom was extremely shocked and said she will call me later. Around an hour later his mom came knocking on my door. She gave me a hug and said she was sorry. I let her in and gave her a cup of coffee. We sat down and she told me that after she confronted Raiden after seeing the texts he started saying that he gets angry when I celebrate because I don't need my family since we have his. I do not talk to my mom that often, but when I do he gets extremely defensive and insecure about it. Now I know why. He also told her that he threatened to divorce me as a way for me to say I'll stop celebrating my aunt's birthday. His mom also told me she respects my decision to get a divorce attorney but that she will always love me like a daughter and will always be there for me if needed. I am going through with the divorce and am working closely with my lawyer. This will be the final post I make about this situation and appreciate everyone for supporting me. Thank you all.